Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the video walkthrough of our 2024 Hobie Pro Angler. Alright, so this is my third year in a row doing this video, and you would think not much changes from year to year, but we've actually done a ton of improvement on the kayak this year. We've got some really cool accessories that I'm excited to show you guys. Probably some things that you're going to want to implement on your rig. So this is the 2024 Hobie Pro Angler 360 XR. I've had it for about 2 months now, and I'm really enjoying it. So I guess we'll start with the front. This is the front. Ta-da! Nah, just kidding. We will start with the two things that I do to every Pro Angler when I get them. The first thing I do, it's a completely free hack, but what I do is I change out the bungee strap for a single strap. Instead of having one here going across, I just have the one, and it makes it a heck of a lot easier to get that thing open while you're out on the water. The other thing that I do is these paddle holders come here, and as you can see, if I had a paddle here, it'd be in the way of my rod box because I use a much larger rod box than most people. So what most people don't realize is these just screw in and out, and every last one of these is the same size thread, so you can unscrew them, move them around to whatever orientation makes the most sense to you and is most user-friendly for the way you have it. The way I have it is I've got tie down in the back on both sides, tie down in the front on both sides, and then my paddle holder here in the middle. And what that allows me to do is put my paddle across here. It's out of the way of the tank well, and I'm not losing any storage for my tank well. But now that that's out of the way, that's the free stuff. Let's get into the actual rigging, because this is what y'all came here for. Alright, so let's get started. So in the very front, I've got my LED navigation lights, and I've actually got those on a waterproof switch this year. I think last year I put them on a switch that wasn't so waterproof, and that gave me problems here and there. So as you can see, I've got them on push button switches, and then the bottom switch is for some LED lights that I have underneath this one and this one. I'll see if we can get up under there so you can see it. So I've got cockpit lights there. So that's that. For stern lighting, instead of going the LED route like I did last year, honestly, it was too much light. I was lighting up the whole world. I opted just to do the little pole light, little Railblazer light, a couple batteries, turn it on, I'd screw with it, easy. Plus, a lot of the tournaments will require you to have a safety flag, so since I gotta have a safety flag anyway, I might as well have my light on it. But anyway, going back to the front, I'll show you the brains of this operation. Alright, so in the front cavity, basically I've got the Burley Pro plate, and I've actually got it zip tied up top. It's got a little clamp, but I used the same plate last year, and being taken on and off so many times, clamp's getting tired, so I zip tied that to keep it in place. And you can see I've got all my wires zip tied nice and neat on the edges. My active target box sits in here nice and neat and still allows for the closing of my lid. Alright, so moving back, this is something that I've got new this year, is the dugout bait and tackle dash mount. This thing is actually really cool. It fits both mounts. You can see I've got my Lawrence HDS 9, my Elite FS 9, and then I've got a GoPro sitting here for my grips and grins. But it just slides in the gear track, screws down. Super sturdy base, which I like. I'm really digging this year. And on the front here, I've got a little, I don't even know what this is. It came with one of the kayaks I bought at one time. I think it's a paddle holder, maybe. We'll see. I don't know what it is. But I don't know how many of you guys have lost nets. I know I've lost more nets than I would like to admit. You get out there, you're You know, you got your net sitting here on the front, boat comes by, you get some waves and knocks it off. Well, check that out. It sits up there nice and neat. It's not coming off. And if I actually get into something rough and I'm moving, I can put it here. Bam. It ain't going nowhere. It might fall off, but it ain't falling off. If you get my grip, if you get my drift. Anyway, let me get that out of the way. All right, so like I said, I've got the dual graphs. I got my HDS9, which is the one that I run my active target off of. My Elite FS9, which is what I run maps and side scan, down scan, whatever. I do have them linked together with a Ethernet cable, so they share, you know, all of my locations, my GPS, my waypoints. It shares my 2D sonar and my side scan sonar, all that good stuff. And I've done the rod holder delete plates. I never use those anyway. A lot of people like to use them. I don't like stuff in my kayak. I don't like the rods laying here because I like to lay my measuring board crossways, and this thing's like I call it my fish cage. They start flopping, they're not bouncing out of this Hobie. With high sides and having your board in the middle, I've only had one fish jump out, and believe it or not, it went through there. I don't know how that happened, but it did happen. Hold on, I got a helicopter coming. All the noises you don't realize are out here until you try to record a video. Still pretty loud. Alright, it's gone. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, my measuring board, fish jumps out, all that fun stuff. What I did this year different than I've done last year is last year I had my foot pedals down here. Works great that way, except I do like to stand up and fish quite a bit, and I try to use my shins to steer, and it was too low and I was basically hitting the tops of my feet instead of my shins. So I brought it up, and this is a kit that you can get from the Dugout Bait and Tackle. It comes with the foot pedals, the line, the tubing, all of the brackets, everything that you need for foot control steering for your motor. You can get there. I'll put a link in the description, and you can also watch a video that I've got showing how to do it under the rail or up here. I got a video for both, so however you like it, you can see how to do it. But anyway, this right here, I know you're like, why is there duct tape on there? Well, it's a good question, and I know none of y'all asked that question, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. If you're pushing on this with your shins after several days of fishing, after several days of fishing, that plastic on this foot pedal is going to wear you out. You have bruises, all the fun stuff. So I actually took a sponge and I cut it out, put it here. As you can see, it's nice and soft. Your shins will thank you later. So Christine, if you're watching that, that's what I was telling you about. So there's that. I've showed you the steering. This may be my most prized hack that I did this year. So typically you have your throttle here and it's just attached, it can't move. And if you're standing up, you gotta, you know, bend down way down here and hit your throttle. Well, check this out. So if you're sitting, here's your throttle right here, right there, easy to get to. If I stand up and I'm standing right here and I'm pushing on these with my shins, oh, no, seriously, like, I know that doesn't look like much, but that is a, dare I say, game changer. No, I'm not gonna say game changer, but that right there is convenient as all get out and really has helped me a tremendous amount, being able to stand up quite a bit. Back hurts less when you stand up some. I mean, if you sit all day, your back's going to hurt. But you know, I can stand up, I can see better. Standing up is just better. That's why bass boats have casting decks. You can see, you can make those pitches, you You can make those accurate casts. Not that you can't do it sitting down. I've done it for years. Standing up can be better sometimes. With that being said about backs, kayak cushions. You must have kayak cushions. No, you don't have to have kayak cushions, but you should, and everybody that has one will agree, it's the best thing they got on their kayak. So under the seat, I've got the Yak Gadget, I don't know what this thing is called. It's like a quad storage plate or something. Anyway, it actually has room for 2 more on top. Got all my tackle there, well, some of my tackle, and then I've done the Hobie box instead of having the little drawers in there, and I've got the one objective little dividers just to kind of help keep things organized just a little bit. Another car. I swear that one just drove by like 5 minutes ago. I don't know what these people are doing. All right, moving back. This is my little handy dandy, as if you've watched any of my videos, my phone holder, which y'all are all complaining about that y'all think I'm gonna drop it out. My phone just sits right there. I love this thing. That's my favorite thing. I've got my wire here zip tied going back, and I leave my throttle on 24/7 all the time driving down the road, because with the NK300 it has a disconnect right here, and I can disconnect that, and I just keep it rolled up on this rod holder, and then when I get to where I'm going, I unroll it, hook it up, bada bing bada boom. Saves me some time. I don't know where I want to go next. Where do we want to go next? Let's go back to electronics. Active target. This is the Fisher mount. You can buy it at the Dugout. That's where I bought mine. There will be a link in the description. I've done a little bit of modifications to this. Typically the way they are mounted, you don't look at me, let's look at this. Typically the way they're mounted is 2 U-bolts coming up with plastic wing nuts, kind of like this. I did something a little bit different. I installed one of these. I believe it's a Yak Attack, could be Yak Gadget, I don't know. Anyway, it's their H-rail mount, and what I've done is I just got some longer screws, screwed it to the top. Now it's flush across here. Now one thing I also did was it's about this long, so it sticks out about this far. Not a big deal typically, but if you've got overhead storage, you're constantly hitting this thing when you're rigging up your boat. So I cut it off to where I've just got a little bit of clearance right here. So, and then when I get ready to, if I'm not using it and I'm out fishing, I've got a rod holder right here. It's up out of the way. Now it can't come off. Don't drive down the road like that though. Driving down the road, lay it down in there. Thank me later. You don't want something busting it off. All right, so active target, foot pedals, graphs, seat. Let's move back. All right, so as you know, obviously I record. Got a camera up front, camera in the back, USB. This thing can run all day because I've got it going to a little power source right here. And then this is the Yak Attack Panfish Pro from here to here. I added this little, I don't know, it's probably an 8-inch adapter, could be 12 inches. See if you can measure it on your TV. Anyway, I've added this adapter to lengthen this out, this arm, and it gets it just far enough away that I get the angle that I want, but I can still reach it. I had the Boomstick Pro. It's just a little too far back there for me to be able to reach. And if you've seen any of my videos where I'm yelling at the camera trying to tell it to turn off, that was why. So now I still have it on voice control, but now at least I can reach it if I have an issue. So that being said, we'll go back to the crate. This is a custom crate, something I built. I have a video for it if you want to watch it. Actually, the video that I have it's a little bit longer and it has 12 rod holders. I did find that it was a little bit of a pain to reach the stuff in the very back, so I shortened it down because, well, I just didn't need that much. But it holds 36 volt 60 amp hour Dakota lithium battery for my motor, and a 12 volt 60 amp hour Dakota lithium battery for all of my graphs, my active target, my lights, my GoPro, everything. And I don't have anything going through switches because I don't want to have any more added resistance. So basically what I've done is everything is a home run to the graphs. So each graph has its own wire going all the way back to the battery. The active target has its own wire going all the way back to the battery so that I don't get any interference. I have that coming back here with a little short cable with a fuse. Really, that's just so I can turn things off and on so that I can charge my batteries. So I hook on my batteries, I mash the button. Now I'm charging the batteries without any voltage going to my units so I don't tear anything up. And then I've also got a disconnect on my Newport. And what that allows me to do is hit the button, pull the plug. I don't have any power going to the plug when I'm plugging it in, unplugging it. And that's worked out really good. As you can see, they fit very nicely in this box. I believe it's 21 by 21. And then also, I've got all of my plastics in here divided up by bags of, you know, I got worms, finesse, flipping stuff, trailers, swim baits. Everything's in its own bag, fairly easy to get to. And then I got a swim bait box for the big stuff that doesn't fit in the other boxes. So that's that. And I've got it tied down with just some little straps that I got from Amazon. You can look at the video from last year, and I do have these linked to it. Now my wiring I've got run in the hull. I've got it coming out right here with a Yak Attack through hull kit. And basically I've got 1, 2, 3, all 4 of them. So I've got one running up front for the lights, one running up front for each graph, and one running up front for my active target. They come through here, they come through. I got a little cutout in the back of my box, and I've got a Yak Attack Black Pack Pro handle right here, just kind of covering it up. All right, moving back to the motor. I've got a 10 Percy plate installed. This allows me to put my motor and either dual power poles, or I can put a power pole on either side. As you can see, I've got the power pole micro anchor. I actually use that a lot. I really enjoy having the power pole on there. And I'm running the Newport NK300. I believe I had the NK180 on the kayak rigging video from last year. Sometime in the middle of the year, I swapped over to the 300. I really like the 300. The 180 was great. They just come out with a 180 Pro that's going to be amazing. I still like the 300. It gets me a little bit faster than even the Pro. It's a 36 volt motor, which is why I've got the 36 volt battery in the front. I've got a custom bracket on here because the one that they do come with just comes up like this, and because you're pulling it from the back, it has a tendency to roll over a little bit on you. So a buddy of mine made up some of these and reached out after my last video and was like, hey bro, I saw you were having problems with your lifting mechanism. I've got a solution for you. So he sent me one, and I really appreciate that. Holy crap, man, that trailer's loud. So I really appreciate that. And I basically, you know, this is all rigging that comes with the Newport. It comes with the little pulley system. This is one of the ropes that come with it. I've just got it on a little ring, and it sits here just, you know, when I'm riding down the road, just to keep it out of the way. And then, as you can see, pretty easy to pull. I can hook it there, gets it out of the way. When I get into some shallow stuff, I need to pull it up. I do have the Innovative Sportsman's rock guard on here. Not so much for the rock guard aspect of it, but if you get into some heavy grass, you know, go up to Gunnersville, places like that, the larger prop that's on the NK300 is not as weedless as the 180. That little prop on the 180 was 100%, I mean, like, that joker didn't get tangled up. This one does get tangled up a little bit more. It's got a bigger prop. It's just the nature of the beast. This cuts out a lot of that. It does very, very well in grass with this rock guard on there. It's got the little weed cutter. So that's helped me out a ton. Trying to think what else we got on this thing that y'all might be interested in. We've talked about the plates, the motor, the power pole. I think that's about everything. I believe that's it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sure you may have some questions or some positive feedback on what I should have done differently. If you do, leave them in the comments. I appreciate talking to you guys. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna put a link in the description for a lot of the items you can get. A lot of it I get from the Dugout. Most of my rigging stuff I get from the Dugout. They are one of my sponsors, but I was buying stuff from them even before then, which is probably why they're one of my sponsors now. And then I'm also part of Newport now, which I've had a Newport for a couple of years, and reached out to them. I was like, hey guys, I'd love to partner up with you guys and promote your products. I love using them, so I'm on their team. That being said, I will have a link in the description for my personal link for the Newports. So if you're in the market for a Newport, do me a favor, buy it through there. I'll get some points, and I've got a discount code. I'll put that in the description also. Oh, the neighbors are getting the grass cut. That's awesome. And save you 10%. But anyway, that's it. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. I do appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would appreciate it if you would give me a subscribe. And we'll see you guys out on the water.